Hello, everyone in the chat. Let us know if you can hear us. Today's session is catch up with negative karma. We're gonna just let everybody ease into the stream, and yeah, just let me know if you can hear us. Let us know if the desktop audio is too loud or if the microphone is working fine. Can't see us. That's cool. We're just gonna get started in a sec. Just waiting for a few more people to come in. Okay, so it doesn't want to play at all. All right, cool. So yeah, we might as well get started, I guess. And let's go. So, hello. Hi everyone. Can you see us? Can you hear us? Is the audio good? Do you need us to turn it up, turn it down? Welcome
We can
to
see and hear you.
another stream. My name is Jermaine, just in case you guys have already forgotten. And we've got a special guest with us from Negative Karma. We've also got our special co-host, and they both share the same name.
Yeah, Jay, I'll let you introduce yourself.
I'm Jay. I'm a game developer in the UK who runs Negative Karma. We're working on a cool new game. And some other stuff as well, but most of it's a cool new game. So there we go. I'm not very good at introducing myself.
That's cool. That's cool.
And been around a while, like 8 years, developing at different companies and stuff. But recently branched out to just do my own thing, which has been really fun.
We're getting an echo. Sorry,
okay,
from Jay.
We're hearing an echo in the chat. It's coming from Jay.
Crazy
echo. Let me
interesting.
See. Just keep talking, Jay, and guys, let me know if.
I'll just keep saying. If you wonder why I look so tired, it's because I've been in America for 2 weeks, and I kind of only really just got back like an hour ago. I'm a bit out of it, but it's all good.
Bit jet lagged.
Okay, I think the echo's gone. But you can't hear him. Alright, okay. I tried to be smart there, just play with the sound levels. What else can we do? Maybe
we'll figure it out.
Maybe I'll turn down our mics a bit, and then
audio is great. But I'm not sure.
Are we echoing?
Because you're playing out of our desktop and everything like that. Is that perfect? Is that good? All right, cool. All right, yeah, we're fine.
Okay, cool.
No more echo. Right, cool.
No echo.
Thanks, chat. Yeah, cool. All right, so so I think Jay had some more questions for you, or did you have anything else you wanted to ask?
I'll introduce myself as well. I'm Jay. I'm at Anything World, but I'm down in London visiting, so I thought I'd join the stream. And I think we're just going to let Jay tell us a bit about the game that you've been developing for Negative Karma. And then we'll ask you a few questions along the way. But yeah, if you want to go ahead.
Yeah, sounds good. So me and my business partner and friend Oliver, who was on a previous stream, I think he already showed this off in the past, making a game called Supercat 64. The idea is it's going to be a 64-player sort of arcade racing game. So not like realistic controls, but akin to like Mario Kart sort of way. Where you go through a few rounds of elimination. It's like 64-player race, and then the 33 players that make it through get to do the next event, and then so on until there's only like the winner left, right? We've kind of scoped it to get it completed by July is the idea, so it's a really short turnaround. I think we started in like January, so like we're like 3 months in, I guess. Let me see if I can share my screen actually.
Yeah, feel free to share your screen.
if that works.
I don't know if I have to allow it or anything. Sweet, yeah.
Yeah,
That
that's
works.
nice. So I mean, this is just like a prototype map I've been working on. So I think where we were last time, we sort of had like a vehicle sort of working. Since then, it's sort of been a case of reworking this vehicle controller so that Oliver can go and tune it, and then sort of building out the kind of game mode and the network side. So I'm kind of like maybe like 2/5 of the way through doing that at the moment. I'll hit play and it'll just be chaos. Like we're not going to see, we're going to see nothing because I need to turn on the host mode so it actually works. So yeah, cool. Don't do this to me. We're working before the stream.
Yeah, that's what always happens. Like, you know, as soon as it's on camera, it starts to act funny.
Funny enough, it's like the exact same thing that happened last time. Oliver was like, "Yeah, I'll show you guys," and then
Oh yeah, I remember.
tried to do it, it didn't work.
You got all the blame for it as well.
Well, yeah, it was my fault.
It's like when you show your work at uni and you promise the teacher, like, you know, I've got everything sorted out, and then they come around and then nothing works.
Yeah. It's not spawning the camera in. Well, we can live debugging. Why is it not spawning the camera in? Okay, so the idea is that, before I fix it, the idea is there's supposed to be like a pre-game stream before you all join the like game, where you get to pick 3 cards from a selection of cards that get dealt to you. And the cards you get are going to be like different creatures. And each creature has like slightly different stats. So like, you know, the giraffe might have like worse turning but better acceleration. And maybe like a fox would be like really good at braking or something, I don't know.
And are you able to control that when you're like developing the game to like give the characters
the statistics? Yeah. Because every vehicle has quote unquote, because you're like driving the creature, has like just a bunch of stats, including like curves for how like efficiently you can turn at different speeds and stuff.
Cool.
Along with how much gravity you have, how long it takes to charge a jump. So you can kind of like build stats around this and then like assign them to these playing cards so that you get the sort of like, so you have them stats when you like play the game, right? And then before every race you would sort of like pick which creature you want to play as, so that kind of thing. Because like some of the tracks might be more windy, some of them might, some of them aren't even race tracks, some of them are like combat tracks is the idea, where you're probably going to be like launching missiles at each other. Yeah. But
That's cool.
none of this will work, apparently. So.
And so like, are these all the animals gonna have those shaders as well? Because they're pretty cool. Like
that is what we were thinking.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like a kind of gradient thing. One of the problems with it at the moment is like sometimes the gradients blend in. Sometimes the gradients all blend in with like the world and stuff. Like we already have like gradients on like the sky and like flat colors and stuff. So like I really need a way to kind of like stop that. I'm thinking of writing like an outline shader or something.
Yeah.
Kind of makes it a bit more like distinguished. At least that's what I'm thinking.
That could work.
I would love to find out why this is not working real quick.
Also, when are you going to be like sort of instancing those creatures into the vehicles?
No, I think originally we were going to, but I think they actually take a lot of work to get them like in. But additionally, I think it's way funnier just to have like creatures driving around as if they're like remote controlled cars. I'm gonna wait. Let me just pop it in. Let me just restart Unity.
Yeah.
But odds are that will fix it.
Cool.
since it literally was working like as we were doing the kind of pre-stream setup, it was working. I switched nothing, and now it doesn't work. So we'll figure out what's going on with that.
That's cool. Did you guys go to GDC, or I heard did you guys get involved with GDC?
Did.
How was that? How was that experience?
GDC was so it's my first GDC and the first time in America. It was really good. I had a great time. I met some really cool people. There was a lot on. It was like way busier than I thought it would have been. So there was always like some kind of event or some kind of talk or like some kind of meetup. So I pretty much was like booked the whole like first half of the week. I was doing that. The second half of the week, I was showcasing like a Nintendo Switch port that I've been working on. I can't say what it was. Just have to be there, I guess. But one of the other things I do is like port video games. So that's what I did for that. We also went over to your stand. I think Globey is like the best mascot in the world, and I wish we saw more of Globey. I think you need to provide maybe you already have it, actually I haven't looked yet, but you need to provide a Globey on your like asset browser that you can download.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
I
do have
know
a
that
3D
like
Globey.
on your like animate anything software, when you do it, you have Globey as a like loading bar. So not loading bar. They do like a dance, right?
Yeah, the dancing
so
Globey.
I'm assuming there's a Globey 3D model already made.
Yeah. We do. I don't know about release though to the public. Like, I'm not sure if Globey's ready for that kind of
it's
exposure.
protected.
You'll immediately dilute Globey's brand image if you do that. Not afraid.
Yeah, Globey's everywhere.
Probably not a good idea. But yeah, that like inflatable Globey is an amazing addition to your like stand. It really like attracts people, I think.
Yeah, we might have to do Globey spin-offs like Mickey Mouse, like a Mrs. Globey, some baby Globey.
Alright, I think we're back. I think it just is magically fixed. Okay, it's
Oh,
magically
sweet.
Whoa.
Okay, cool, nice. Right, so disregard the fact that they describe it like right. So this is the sort of like updated vehicle control from the last time. It's like half network, so it's also half broken. Oliver, when they get back from America, so they're still over there. When they come back, they're going to be tuning this like vehicle control. So at the moment, it's still a little bit like, the turning looks wrong, but it's just a visual thing. But it actually doesn't feel horrendous to drive. It just visually looks wrong. So you can do a little jump, like switch and jump. Still fun. It just needs like a bit more of a like polishing game on it. I think it'll feel quite good. We do have a couple of tracks as well, but it's much easier when I'm like programming to just start doing it, right?
Yeah.
What would you say like the biggest? Sorry, what would you say like the biggest challenges you found when you've been making the game?
I've never ever made a vehicle.
Okay.
In my life. I've worked on games that had cars in, but I never like did the cars on that. So one of the like hardest things has been inputting the vehicle. I'm trying to give you a breakdown. So I kind of spent like ages figuring out different ways to do it. Here we go. So like I originally tried Unity has like wheels, right? They're like built-in wheel sliders. So like put some wheels in place, made like a fake car like shape and thought it out. And that did work, but one, it was like really resource intensive once I had 64 cars on the screen. And two, it like was too realistic. Like you have to kind of build in like a roll cage mechanic so that the car doesn't like fall over. And you have to like adjust the suspension correctly. You basically have to be like an F1 engineer to know how to use the wheel controls in Unity. So I said, okay, let's not do that. We will instead make our own one from scratch. So one thing I've seen online, and I think definitely was good in the older games as well. Like I played a game called like Jack X, like a racing combat game for the PS2.
Yeah.
And like that one felt like quite good. That was sort of like in between like realistic and not, and tried to figure out how that worked. And then we also played like some of the Ratchet and Clank games have like racing mini games in, and they clearly just use like a sphere or like a capsule for the shape of the car. So what I kind of figured out is a lot of games, it seems, don't actually implement vehicle physics. They just have like a sphere, and they kind of just like roll it around, or just at least move it around, right? So that's how this vehicle is implemented. Is you have a sphere collider, which represents like where the vehicle touches the ground, and then as you drive around, you just sort of like push that around, but give it its own like physics.
Oh, okay.
One second. Where's my sphere gone? Where am I? So yeah, so that gives you a lot more control when you do that way, because you can now like specifically control this rigid body, and you don't have to worry about like where the wheels are and stuff. You can be like, okay, you're on this angled slope, so you're allowed your max speed gets to be like this, or you can say like, okay, okay, the sphere is colliding with this type of like ice or something, and you do like reduce their friction, and you don't have to worry about it falling over or like a bunch of other stuff. And then all of the like visuals are just sort of like pairing it to the sphere, so you can still like independently rotate to look like they're turning, which is what's trying to happen here. But the sphere itself doesn't rotate, the sphere stays in place. You just kind of like visually look like we're rotating. You just change the way that we kind of move. So yeah. So sorry, that's a bit like more technical.
No, that was yeah,
So,
that was
I'm
interesting.
kind of not really going into it.
No, I'm not a game developer myself, so it was just interesting to see how you've attached an animal to I guess to a vehicle.
Yeah.
When we put it like that, it sounds really simple actually. The other thing as well, so that's the biggest challenge, and that continues to be the biggest challenge on this project, is making a vehicle that feels fun.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have a vehicle that feels fun, you don't have a game, no one wants to play it, right? And then the second thing at the moment is trying to network the whole thing. I've done a bunch of networking stuff before, so it's not like I'm completely bashing my head against the wall. But when you have 64 players, you have quite a lot of information that needs to be sent like every second or whatever, so that you can recreate the game state. So you've got the like velocity of the thing. That's like for 12 bytes, because it's like forward, left, right, and up, down velocity, right? It's like, to store the like number for it.
Yeah.
And you also have like the rotation, which is also like not 4 bytes, 16 bytes, that one, because it's like there's multiple things in the rotation, like X, Y, Z, and W. And then also like, you need to like sync up the animations, and there's like a bunch of stuff that's going on. So that's kind of like what I'm currently doing. So it doesn't work at the moment, network, but it's kind of getting there. If this was like an older version of Unity, like 2021 or something, then network development tools were non-existent or not as good. But nowadays, like, you can do, like the multiplayer play mode. So if you're making a multiplayer game, I highly recommend you use this, because you can just like have multiple editors open at once. That gives them tags that tell them how to work. So I can like add a new client here, set them as client. Now when I hit play, I'll have like the main player mode and also like the second one that connects to it. Makes it a lot easier to test. You don't have to like build it or run like 2 editors every time. So that's sort of it really on the kind of like challenges side.
What about like brainstorming and coming up with like new ideas for features and mechanics? Is that something that is like for you guys? How do you do that?
Yeah, that's a really good question actually. So right at the start of this project, me and Oliver, we just went into like a coffee place, and we spent the day in there, sort of like scoping out what the game would be. So we sort of like, we always knew that we were going to have like about 64 players. So it's a nice number. So we'll come back to that in a minute. But we always knew that we were going to have like creatures. We didn't know if they were going to be in the car or the actual vehicle. We really wanted to use creatures because we wanted to lean on the asset library that you guys provided. And then we thought just like, we were like, okay, what kind of racetrack do we want, right? So we kind of like, we decided on like 5, I think. So we kind of like decided on what the theme would be for the track. Not the layout yet, with the layout we do once we have like a vehicle feeling a bit better. But so we know what the racetrack will look like what the theme is. We know like sort of how many players they can support, because not all of them will support 64 players, because you get like whittled down as you go through each like round, right? Making a racetrack that can have 64 people on is really hard, because it needs to be really wide, and when it's really wide, there's no challenge in the driving. So I think that's kind of like a design challenge that's probably going to get solved. I think one thing you can probably do is like, you have like a wide road at the start, so that you can like have like opposites that kind of like loop over each other and stuff.
Yeah, I was thinking like Mario Kart does something like that.
Like Rainbow Road.
Yeah. They do. I just play Mario Kart actually. That would be good.
And then
good like inspiration.
Between like you and Oliver, is that like is one of you more of a game developer and one more of a designer, or?
So Oliver is a level designer. That's his like role. Senior level designer, I think, actually. And then so he's much more like doing the design stuff and like implementing the level. Not like arting the level, but like deciding what the art of the level would be. Normally you get someone else into art it later on.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of holding a switch cartridge. And then myself, I'm like entirely like an engineer.
Okay, cool.
And have been forever. So I make levels. Look at this level I made that we're in right now. It's so pretty. It's got like a ramp that's facing the wrong way from where you spawn. It's got a little bit of ground that runs out immediately. That's all you need in a level.
Cool.
But yeah, so all of it also just does like more traditional game design. And like he's going to be tuning the vehicles. That's the thing that a lot of designers usually do. Engineer makes the system and then exposes values, and then designer comes in and makes them values correct, right? And asks for new values to be added if possible. Yeah.
Nice.
Like, so how do you find that sort of dynamic? Is it like a very, for you, like obviously you've probably had other experiences of creating things for different people. Would you say this experience, like working with Oliver, is like a very, you guys sort of have like a general understanding of what each other's going to need at every stage, or is it you have to go back to the drawing board a lot, sort of thing?
I think we have gone back to the drawing board a couple of times, because we've had to scope down a little bit from the original plan. That happens kind of. I think that's happened on every game I've ever worked on, actually. Like it's never, you either run out of time, or you run out of money, or you run out of people. Does that make sense? Like you don't have enough people to do what you want to do. But with it being just me and him working on the actual like game side of stuff, it is very tough to get everything done. So we scoped it down a little bit. I feel like we're still on track to get this done for like the July finish it. So I've got like what, like April, 1, 2, 3. There's like 3 and a little bit months left. But I think it's definitely enough time to like form this into a finished game loop, like a finished game that you can play.
Yeah.
And I would like to do, even when we release it, I would like to do some additional updates as well. If time permits. I think that would be fun.
And how is using the how is using the asset library? Does that help speed up
it helps speed
time?
up things a lot. So like pretty much every asset in this game uses it.
Okay.
I find this incredibly useful just for like prototyping. So like we did some scenes. Is this the one?
Oh wow.
Is this the one? Maybe this one. No, I feel like we have a more like complete. That's an older version. Maybe it's not been like pushed yet. this like, because we've been using like the asset library to kind of like decorate tracks, but I don't appear to have the one that I'm thinking of, which is unfortunate. So it's like you're making a track to do like a I don't know, like a synthwave track, so you want like a palm tree, right? You can find like an idea like a palm tree. Snowy trees, maybe I should put it in quite actually. No, that's long. Okay. Yes, okay, it's called banana trees, so you know what I mean. So you can like just pull in the thing and then go and replace. So how can I explain this? Normally, like when you do a level, you can kind of put like placeholder ones in to begin with, prefab them, and then like make a new prefab of what it's supposed to be. This would be the thing it's supposed to be, like replace them all.
Yeah.
So it's like very quick to kind of like take like a boxed out level, like a kind of like a just to get the scale right.
Yeah.
Especially when you're getting the about the scale, like racing game. And then go through and just like replacing all the scale prices of your and bring them in. It's been very, very useful. The only issue I had with it, which I think you guys have fixed, and I was talking to someone at GBC, I forget what they were called, but there was someone who works for you. I know from your security.
Was it
Either Brooks or
Brooks or Leo?
Possibly. I'm horrendous with names. The one issue I had is that there's no way to like take one of these and turn it into a prefab. So like you prefab it and now it's just empty, right?
Yeah.
And you used to have an option in here, in the like setting. You used to have an option that let you do it.
Yeah.
But you got rid of it. It had fallen in the head. That's the fact that happened. But apparently you guys have nearly fixed it. So one of the things I did have to do is I actually just fixed it, but so I made like I just made a prefab explorer that can like just do it for me.
Oh, cool.
It wasn't a problem because you guys provide all of the like source code.
Yeah.
Right? It's very easy to like extend.
Mm-hmm.
An export country that's working. So I can buy a piece of prefab on this one. So that was really cool. So like, even though there's an issue, you guys are on it and you're gonna fix it, which I think is great. But also as an engineer, I was very easy to like sort it.
Yeah, I think I don't know what version you've got, but like the serialized fields should give you like a mesh, but I know what you mean. Like it gives you the mesh, but like it doesn't work the same as a prefab. I think.
Yeah. Well, this one, like it took me like maybe like a day to script, but it like makes all the materials, makes the mesh, but it also if there's textures it saves them as well, and if there's like animations it saves them as well, and if there's other stuff as well.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
It's good.
I needed it because
that's good to know that like as possible. Like ask Brooks like if that could be a bonus feature with your name in it.
You can extend your stuff like quite easily. If you guys have wrote it's pretty easy to extend, and that's quite cool, I think. There's a lot of plugins that provide it as like a DLL, and a DLL is like a pre-compiled library, and they're usually harder to work with.
Mm-hmm.
But I can if something didn't work as I would expect, I can just go look at the code, and then as an engineer, I can go like, oh, okay, I just used it wrong, or okay, I actually know what the problem is and just like fix it, which is kind of cool.
So it's developer friendly then, or it's engineer friendly?
I think it is pretty engineer friendly. I'm quite happy with it. Yeah.
Cool. So
I do wish I had more to show you in the game. I would love to show you what I want to do for if we do another stream in the future. Assuming that I get it done, I would really love to send you a build and just play.
Yeah.
I just need to put more time in. It's a balancing act at the moment. We are getting there.
Yeah, that would be really fun.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah.
It looks like a really fun visual, definitely from an aesthetic side.
Are you planning on making it like a huge multiplayer game, or is it just something at the moment where you're thinking, let's just get it built first and then worry about like getting it online, multiplayer, and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Because I hear that all that stuff is really hard to do.
So the plan is, so I think live service games that like, you know, you connect, they have a back end and you play on their servers. I think they're really stupid, and I think that like the time that it takes to build one of them is a lot, and it would only really work if I was making like Fortnite or something, right? And I think that like spending time to make it like a live service would be stupid. But I do want to host like official servers that people can connect to. So the idea is you get the game, you load it on Steam, you go to play. There'll be a bunch of services online that are official, where you get like you get like rankings and stuff on them. But then you can also just host your own server. So you'll have all the tools needed to be able to just play it with friends or play it with like randos on the internet. And that way, you know, let's say I can't run the servers anymore, the game doesn't become like a useless brick. You can just still play it.
Cool. Yeah.
And
There
that's
are
the
some.
idea.
I forgot what's the name of that massive multiplayer game online that like. I think they're probably still obviously working on it. Is it No Man's Sky or something like that, where like it's just like a big, huge universe where like there's so many like multiplayer things that just keep developing because it's all like a generative sort of worlds. Like things just like never stop expanding.
Yeah, that one, that game. Interestingly, when they released it, they didn't have the multiplayer.
Yeah, that's what I heard, and then
they added it, right?
yeah, I think people demanded it or something like.
From my experience, retroactively adding multiplayer to a game is like a nightmare. So props to them for doing that. I don't know how they managed it.
It makes sense though.
Yeah, I think it's a cool like game to have multiplayer in. For sure. But it's a bit tragic though. I feel because like you know, if they shut their servers down or whatever, if that's how it works, then like it just stops working. Right?
Yeah.
There's no way for the like player to kind of get around that. At least not legally anyway. Like there's pretty much no legal way that a player can continue playing the game that they bought, which is really quite worrying to me as a person that likes to like preserve video games.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I never actually thought of it that way, to be honest.
You know, because like loads of games like Fortnite in like 10 years time, right, might not be playable anymore if Epic Games don't want to support Fortnite, right? I don't know why they wouldn't because they make a lot of money, but you know it could happen, and it has happened with loads of games. Like, have you ever played The Crew? By Ubisoft?
I heard about it.
It's like a racing game.
Yeah.
But so like you can just drive around. And
yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
They just shut the servers down, or they're about to, so now that's like a brick that you can't play.
Yeah, they also do that like with some of the old Need for Speed, so you have to buy a new one.
Yeah, which I think is very not cool.
I know, like it's just yeah. So I don't know if you guys are planning on doing that.
So the idea is the game you'll be able to play even when the servers are down.
Yeah, it seems to be mainly racing games.
I think more game studios should do that. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah,
but
just
yeah.
I don't know, like it would make sense just to like have one sort of server and then you could just update with every new iteration that you. But I guess like it's harder to sell to somebody to buy a new title.
Also, as well, I don't want to drag this kid out because like it's a very discussion topic, I guess. But like, if you sell someone a car, right, and then like in 5 years' time, the service of the car goes down and it's now useless, you'd be very annoyed, right? Because you bought like a product and it now doesn't work for no reason.
Yeah.
So how come it's legal for like a game company to sell a game and then just remotely make it like useless years later? To me, it just seems like it should be illegal but isn't.
That's kind of like how iPhones work with updates.
Yeah.
It seems like it shouldn't. That shouldn't be legal.
Yeah.
Planned obsolescence, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Built in to break. But how does that work on a technical side? Like, is there a way? Is that only if it's a multiplayer game online?
Only if the game depends on whatever that backend does, right? So,
Okay.
I'm trying to think of an example. So the Crew actually is like a single player game but has multiplayer elements. So it's even more annoying that it like becomes unplayable.
Yeah.
So basically, like game starts, it asks the server, "Hey, I need like I don't know, who's online or whatever," and if it doesn't respond, it just says no connection, and then you can never play the game again.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
Which
That
is
would be
not
annoying.
that's not a very good way to program a game. It shouldn't depend on this like back end. Even if it's like a multiplayer game, you can still at least like load and let you like run your own server or something.
Yeah.
Especially if they shut it down.
Yeah, tell that. Yeah.
Oh, Gordon's in the chat. Hello, Gordon.
Hey, Gordon.
Good to see you at GDC.
Yeah. I think he's already back. He's already back.
Yeah. Might be a bit sleepy, but he's back.
I am also very sleepy. But it was good. Me and Gordon had a little bit of a chat at the GDC stand. And Oliver did as well. Oliver had a very long chat.
Yeah.
I think.
With it being your first GDC, what do you think was like the biggest takeaway from the event that you took from it?
So it's a pretty bad time in the game industry because like a lot of people are struggling. I went to the like Nintendo Game Festival and it was really good. And they kind of like said it how it is, and that normally doesn't happen at like the launch shows. So that was very cool. But takeaway for me, like more like a first one, I guess, was just like I don't know. I'm pretty introverted, and I don't really go out to like events and stuff like this. But I met like so many like-minded people that it kind of made me feel a lot more comfortable.
That's really good.
And it kind of made me want to go back, right? Like everyone there was really nice, and everyone was like really interested in what everyone else was doing, and it was just a really good like collaborative space as well. So like I did a little bit of work when I was down there with a couple of people as well. They were working. It was a very good like collaborative space as well. San Francisco was quite nice as well. It was really nice to see America. So
Yeah.
like a very enriching experience, and I think that if like any other game developer here, if your company that you work at give you the chance to go, you can just take it, even if you think it's going to be like a lot of work. Because it is a lot of work. Definitely worth it.
Yeah, it seems like a really good creative space for, like you said, like-minded people, and I don't know, share their ideas and their creativity. Like it's such a huge event.
And you get to see a lot of cool like games as well.
Yeah. Was there any games that you saw that were just like you didn't know was coming out that just sort of caught you by surprise?
Yeah, there was this game that like I don't know if you played Slay the Spire, but it was very similar to Slay the Spire, and that was they said so as well. But it was more like aimed at like a younger audience, which was quite cool because it was getting into that kind of like road like deck building game, which is what Slay the Spire is. So that was awesome. I really want to play that. I think it comes out soon, but I'm not too sure. And then there was also like they had like a bunch of like really interesting games that were built around unique peripherals. So someone made like a game where you sit on an actual toilet and like use a plunger like interface. And then there was another one where like
I think Gordon had an idea for a game like that as well.
That is ridiculous.
He actually called it. He called it a couple of years ago. I think he said something about toilet.
someone beat Gordon too.
Yeah, I know. I didn't think it would actually come up.
There's some other ones as well. There's one game where you're like you play as someone in a wheelchair and you sit in a wheelchair and the wheelchair is also like the interface. You like actually being in the wheelchair, which is very impressive. Bunch of the art stuff. There's a bunch of everything really. It was everything gauging in one place and it was awesome.
Yeah.
That's kind of like how I would sum it up, I guess. Literally something for everyone, I think.
Yeah, I managed to just see, I think the last stream that we did was on like a bit of GDC. We looked at some of like the Unreal stuff that came out, and that was just like, that shocked me. Like I was just like, this is insane. I know every year Unreal's going to come out with something even crazier than last year, especially with all this new graphics capabilities they got now. But like, some of that stuff just got like live action stuff, like guys just in costume, but it was actually like 3D models. So
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah.
What I don't know what to expect from the next couple of
Yeah,
games.
I don't really know where the like tech in gaming is going. I feel like I should know, but I just don't have any clue anymore. It's sort of like I guess they're gonna keep going for like more ray tracing stuff, and as the hardware develops for that, that's cool, I guess.
Yeah.
And then I guess like I don't know really. I really have no idea where it's gonna go anymore. I felt like I used to when I was younger.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because I saw something on I think it was Google that was that it was something about like a 2D AI fully AI created game. Like it was like but it was like a side scroller thing. But there was all this like the animations were done in AI and all the code was written by AI. It was like nuts. But then now I'm thinking like, so what is it gonna be like this crazy world of like almost everybody's like a games developer. Where everybody's got this, and it's just I think yeah.
Everyone already can be a game developer.
Yeah.
Because the resources are there.
Yeah.
And the engines are at a point where like they're very accessible. Like pretty much anyone can crack open Unreal and start learning the blueprinting. You don't need to learn to code. You can make games with blueprints. I wouldn't recommend it as an engineer, because engineers will shout at you to do that. But you can make an entire game with blueprints and it will work and you will be able to sell on Steam.
Yeah.
Without having the right thing like
they've already got.
I think that's great.
They've already got something like that on PlayStation Network. They had that a couple of years ago, like where you could actually like make your own games just with node-based coding.
Yeah.
And I watched this tutorial online where some kid just made a whole Avatar based game. The Avatar, like the wind character, and like it looks so cool. I wanted to play it, but he never released it, or I don't know if he released it, but. It's interesting because it's going to be a cool time to be like sort of a creative and stuff like that. You might even get to a point where you can make games so quick, people are just like quickly making games on streams and stuff like that, and so you got like this sort of multi-revenue sort of like you're making a game, you're showing the making of, you've made it, you've published it, released it, and all your audience are playing it within the day.
A lot of people already do that as well.
Yeah.
That exists.
Yeah.
So like the people do like game jams and stuff. Mm-hmm. They're like 24-hour game jams.
Yeah, we was at one not too long ago. Yeah.
I never successfully completed a game jam. I find it really hard to like make something finished in like a day or 2 days.
Yeah, it's
and also
chaos.
like I feel like I have to stay up all night to get it done, and that's not very healthy. And no one should do that. If you want to do a game jam, you should go to sleep. That's what I learned from university.
Yeah.
But so like if you go on like itch.io and go look at their jam section, they have like basically a big long calendar that has every single community run game jam that's like happening. So there'll be like in Halloween there'll be like a horror one, or there'll be like there'll be one right now that's like they make a game in 2 weeks or whatever, right? If you want to like watch people make games hacks, that is like the place to be. Like everyone streams it. You can go play all these finished games. You can discover like new stuff. You ever played Superhot?
Superhot? No, it sounds familiar though. But
it's a game where like when you move, time progresses. So if you stay still, time slows down, and you have to like shoot people and get around and stuff. That game was originally made as a game jam, and then they took it and made it like a full game. So they released the game jam game, and then they like progressed. And there's been a bunch of games that have been like done in like a week or done in like a weekend, and have then been taken to the next level by these developers, right?
Yeah.
Which is insane.
Yeah,
and I can't believe people do it.
Yeah, I've only done one, and that was like was the last game jam thing? Global Game Jam. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Global Game Jam is a good one.
Yeah, so that was super fun. Like I think like because obviously anything was like part of the whole sponsorship thing to it. But it was a cool experience to just like get a team straight away, a bunch of strangers you never met before, and then all of a sudden like you're in and you got a role and stuff like that. I just felt super bad for like the programmer because like they always get everything chucked at them like right at the end, and like at the start you get to
be a bit creative.
Everybody's super like putting all their creative juices into it, and by the end like you just got one tired programmer like just hacking it. Everybody else is sort of putting their feet up and like
it happens every time.
It's cool that you can do that though. Like that's such a collaborative. It's almost like being back in university. Like you don't get the chance often to be like experimental with something and just be like, right, you've got to make it in 24 hours or whatever. Like there was some pretty interesting stuff that came
There was
out.
some really good stuff that came out of that as well. Yeah.
The constraints make it. The constraints make it so that like innovation happens.
Yeah.
Right? So like you're constrained, so you're like, okay, we have to do it this way, not that way, and then you discover like ways to do things that's like fast but different, and that's really cool. And that you kind of get like a lot of really awesome stuff come out of it.
Yeah.
Would recommend that to like any developer. I used to do them a lot when I was really young, getting started when I was like 18 and stuff. I would just do like random game jams with people on the internet, and then they never turned out good, but they were a really good learning experience.
Yeah.
Like, how to program stuff, right? To learn things.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying. I think maybe like maybe game jams get an even bigger boom on the internet, like from all of this new like faster ways to make games. I feel like a lot of people do want to make games.
Yeah.
It's just like the techie side of it that sort of like bogs your mind and makes you think. Or maybe even the creative side. Sometimes I'm good at the logic, but like in my head I just don't know how to get like the creativity going. But now there's, like you said, there's so many different like places that you can pull. You can generate 3D models now. You can do animations straight away. You can even ask somebody to write code or AI to write code. But like whatever like sort of thing you're lacking in, you can either choose to collaborate with people, or you can like do some very like quick prototyping on your own, and then bring that to somebody else, and then you start working on something together. So I feel like I feel like that probably will probably be like the best sort of way forward, is like you kind of like polish your idea quickly, and then you can get to collaborate with somebody else.
Yeah.
Straight after.
And it makes it like more accessible, I guess, for someone who hasn't necessarily, I don't know, went and learned 3D modeling at university, or there's a lot more tools to your hand.
Yeah, it's true. So I mean, I like this like port that I was doing to the Switch. I had to like learn how to use Blender. It got a lot better. It used to. Blender when it was on Blender 2.8.
Oh yeah, when they had like so many hidden windows behind menu systems behind hidden windows.
Blender 4 or whatever it is now was a lot nicer. I managed to actually learn and do the things I needed to do. I needed to like UV unwrap and optimize explicit models.
Yeah.
And it was pretty good. But what I was going to say as well is like, because I complain a lot about the things, I guess. But like, you have people who are less technical making the games, right? Which is fine, no problem with that. And then at like the university level, a lot of the stuff that you learn is more like gameplay scripting, which is useful as well. As you need to make a game, so you need to build a gameplay script. But then you end up having like less people who know about like the lower level side. So you end up with like who's going to continue writing these game engines? Who's going to like continue writing the graphics renderers, right? And I don't think there's like any way to like fix that problem really, other than having courses that specifically teach it. But most people want to just make games because they don't like get that cost right.
Yeah.
So like, in like 5 years time, hardware is going to keep progressing, right? So we need some people that know how to like program the engine to get them using the new technology, and I can't see that like disappearing no matter how like accessible the like technical side becomes. So I think accessible.
I think almost like the same way you sort of created your own code to fill in a gap that you have with Anything World. I feel like there's always going to be people that is going to want to like push what they know, and then like figure out how to how can I get more out of this, or there's got to be more than just the constraints I've been given by all the tools that I've got. So I feel like it's a good way in, and then once you're in, you're probably gonna want to teach yourself, just like you taught yourself Blender. I feel like there's loads of people out there that are just gonna want to teach themselves like even the more detailed, the more nuanced things like in development that you do have to go and study and stuff like that.
I think you're right with that actually, because I didn't, when I started programming, I didn't just like crack open Visual Studio and start typing C++. It took me a really long time to actually get my head around C++.
Yeah.
I think originally I started with like a thing called Scratch, which was like a node-based game engine from like a long time ago. I don't even know if it exists anymore. It probably still exists. But and then like I progressed onto PHP, so that was easy, quote unquote. And then I kind of like just progressed like stepping stones across different technologies until I got the more like low-level side. I do think that if you just learn the low level, which is hard to do, but if you just go ahead and learn the low level first, everything else will be like way easier to like get your head around, including learn the node based stuff too, because you can kind of like understand what the concepts are underneath that, which makes it a lot more like obvious what it's doing.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, exactly. Like, especially if you know the math and all that stuff behind it, you can get into shaders and stuff like that really quickly.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Shaders I still haven't quite tackled them yet. They're very hard. I find them like above my level in so many ways. But yeah, shader programming is like awesome. Shader programming is one of the ones that's been like made way more accessible with like newer tools and stuff. So like with loads of node-based tools and ways to visualize the shaders and what they do, which is brilliant. Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
But yeah, that's yeah, I agree. I think like definitely like doing the knowledge and really learning like the code and like the developmental side of things early on, it will give you like a crazy advantage, especially with all the new tools available out there. Like you can probably like be a one-man band at some point if you know all of those things.
Well, Lethal Company.
Yeah.
Massive game. One developer.
Really?
Yeah, one developer.
I heard the one that they said there's a bit of a Pokemon knockoff or something like that.
Palworld.
Yeah, I heard it was just 3 guys and like one artist, one sound guy, and one developer. Yeah,
it's a pretty small team. I think they were working on it for a really long time before they released it. I don't think it was like something they just like made in like a couple months or whatever. I think that like they had another game which was early access, and I think that they kind of like were working on both games simultaneously, and then they realized that Palworld is like just a better game in every way, so they focused like more of their resources on that. But yeah, they did a phenomenal job in that game. It kind of like there's like lack of marketing, but it kind of self-marketed itself. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Same with Lethal Company. Like they didn't pay for a bunch of like advertising. People just enjoyed the game. It's a good game. If you make a good game and enough people play it, it will like propagate across the world, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like the amount of people I've met like on different like sort of gaming expos that are always looking for a publisher and stuff like that. And obviously that's like the main way to go. But like hearing about like those guys that just managed to go out there and without publishing be able to sell like crazy copies and stuff like that is that's just also nuts as well. Like just being able to do that way, because then obviously I heard like publishing is like 30 to like some crazy percentage and stuff like that. So yeah, either way that you can do it, I guess, if you can get your ideas off the ground and like into people's sort of like into the mainstream and stuff like that, it's a crazy achievement. But yeah, thanks Jay. You've pretty much done like an hour.
Yeah.
We're pretty much talking about the game. Loving the development from what you've done so far. Like
it's really cool.
And yeah, man, I'm pretty sure you guys like smash it. Like it already looks like some really cool ideas and stuff like that, and a lot of interesting game mechanics and stuff like that you guys have already built in.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and Joe, we've got one more question for you. If you were stranded on a desert island, which game character would you like to be there with, and why?
Which game character?
Yeah. Could be anyone.
That's actually an amazing question. You could have asked me that at the start and think about it for the whole stream. So that is like kind of worse. Which character? I could say something like Chief, like I could say like Goku because he can fly me home. But,
that would be pretty handy actually.
I don't know. I don't know.
You can get back to us on the next if we do next stream.
They used to go to the island. They wouldn't know how to survive.
Cool.
That's an awesome question, dude. Thanks.
Yeah. Cool, man. Thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in. And we'll see you on the next stream. My name's Jermaine.
I'm Jay.
I'm also Jay.
And we'll see you guys next time.
All right.